Night by night, it's still there, bright as ever. It sounds simple, but living in an environment where daylight never stops brings with it some strange surprises. Arc never lets anything down. When winter comes under the influence of the north, everything is covered with darkness for months. People live for weeks when the sun never appears, and they can't even say a short hello. Their world turns into a canvas of stars and auroras dancing above their heads. It's like the longest power outage in the world, but no one comes and fixes it. But when the calendar turns to the summer months, everything turns around. The darkness is banished, replaced by a sun that does not give up. 24 hours of daylight changes their world. The sun never sets. During the peak months of summer, many Inuit communities have uninterrupted daylight for more than 70 days. That's more than 2 months in which the sun has never set. This period is longer than most of today's famous marriages. Constant light. Everything from sleep patterns to hunting schedules, he's changing it. Imagine trying to tell your children that it's time to go to sleep at midnight when the sun is hitting brightly in through your window. The temperature change is just as dramatic. In winter, temperatures drop to 64 degrees. It is so cold that the discarded hot water turns to black before it falls to the ground. In summer, temperatures can sometimes drop as low as 0 degrees. This wild temperature change is changing the landscape. In winter, snow and this melt and mix into rivers. Frozen. Tundra softens and allows plants to revive. It allows February, July, and areas that look lifeless in February are covered with colorful wildflowers and fruits by the time of July. The Arctic cotton grass spreads across the tundra like white waves. This is nature's version of extreme makeover shows. It completely changes in everyday life. The winter season forces people to close houses for safety purposes. Travel becomes difficult. It remains limited to mandatory travel. The activities are shaped around the house, sewing, storytelling, tool repair. Out without proper protection during the coldest weeks, getting out can lead to freezing within minutes. This reverses the order. The open air is becoming the center of everything. Hunting trips last for days. Children who used to lie under layers of furs are now swimming in melting snow puddles under the midnight sun. Your to-do list is from survival. It extends to doing everything possible before winter comes. The psychological impact is huge. Many Inuit describe the winter season as a time to turn inward. Summer brings an outward-looking energy similar to the sun that never sets. People report feeling more awake during the brighter months, needing less sleep, and having more vivid dreams. It's as if the entire community has been drinking energy drinks for 3 months. This extreme decadence between the seasons means that the Inuit have developed extremely harmonious lifestyles that adapt to the changing Arctic world. With the arrival of the summer season, everything in everyday life begins to change. When summer comes to the Arctic, the first thing the Inuit do is change houses. Walls, you can't keep living in a snow house when it starts to melt. Instead of the famous winter igloos or snow houses, he leaves for airy tupik or leather tents, which are better suited to warmer weather conditions and constant sunlight. These summer cottages don't look like the standard camping tents you get from outdoor stores. Traditional toothpicks were sometimes made from reindeer skins, where as many as 50 skins were needed for a single family tent. The skins were carefully sewn together using sinew thread and bone needles, so that the seams had been formed tight enough to prevent it from entering. These tents had better waterproofing than most modern jackets, which began to leak water as soon as the clouds appeared. All kinds of materials that the treeless Arctic could provide were used for the structure of the tent. The frame is formed by curled whale ribs collected from the shores or pieces of drifting wood. The summer tent can be set up by a skilled person in less than 2 hours, which is the front side of the tent that most of us buy from the store. That's how long we'll need to find it. It was very important to choose the right place for a summer residence. The Inuit were choosing places with good drainage, so that the melting snow would not leave the tent underwater. The slopes descending towards the south received more sunlight, helping to dry out the moisture. The openings of the tent are designed not to face the general wind directions in order to prevent the formation of a wind tunnel inside. Most of the summer camps are set up within 500 meters of fresh water and good fishing spots. The old camp a study conducted at their location revealed that 9 out of 10 campsites are perfect for observing animals or weather changes coming from all directions, where they provide clear visibility in all directions. It took serious work to prevent these summer houses from being blown away by the polar winds. Heavy stones placed on the sides of the tent provided a firm hold on the tent to the ground. If possible, the inside of the toothpick can be covered with small branches or grasses to create a softer and warmer surface. A central fire its pit provided heat on cool evenings and helped to repel flies. The smoke also provided protection for fish hanging on tent poles. There were adjustable openings at the top of the tent that could be expanded on hot days or narrowed on cool nights. This smart feature has made these simple residences surprisingly comfortable. As the summer months reach their brightest period, these carefully designed shelters turn into much more than a rest. To see families function in the never-ending daylight, they are turning into activity centers where they need to learn. Living in an environment where daylight never stops leads to some strange difficulties in daily routines. When it gets dark, your body produces a hormone called melatonin, and this hormone signals that it's time to sleep. In the Arctic summers, this system gets out of control. Constant light tricks your brain into thinking that it's daytime all the time. Research has shown that people living in the Arctic Circle have over 60% more sleep problems in the summer. It shows that he is alive. When many people wake up an hour after falling asleep, they are surprised by the sunlight coming in through their windows. Solutions are getting creative. Aluminum foils taped over the windows block out stubborn sunlight. Sleeping masks have become a must-have equipment. Many Inuit keep them with them all day long and take sudden naps. Young people are being taught that a good sleep mask is just as important as warm boots. Adults are young, not the sun, but the clock it teaches to follow. Going to bed at the same time creates a mental signal that fills in the place of the disappearing darkness. The traditional approach is not to fight against the light, but to work with it. Many societies adopt divided sleeping patterns. A few hours here, a few hours there, activities decently. This is in accordance with their lifestyle, not against nature, but in harmony with nature. The layout of the room is also important. Sleeping areas are being moved to the darkest corners of the houses. Heavy animal skins hung as dividers are too light, it allows him to be blocked. The struggle to sleep becomes very difficult because it is dark. Despite these difficulties, most of the Arctic residents are adapting well. After a few weeks, the body clocks begin to follow their habits, not according to the sun. However, from the point of view of visitors, this adaptation process is very challenging. As people get used to sleeping with the light on, their daily lives are also gaining a new rhythm. Endless summer activities that will keep everyone busy no matter what time it is outside, while aluminum foils are taped to the windows waiting. The endless daylight also brings with it an endless appetite. The Ittler are taking full advantage of this situation and are working day and night to collect and store enough food for the upcoming dark months. On these bright days, fishing becomes the star activity. The rivers and coastal waters are teeming with Arctic trout, a salmon-like fish with bright pink flesh. In traditional fishing, stone abrasions are used, which are underwater rock walls that guide fish into narrow channels. Fish are so plentiful in summer it happens that they almost jump on your boat to escape their relatives who are filling the waterways. Fishing nets can be checked at any time at midnight or noon. Seal hunting continues in the summer months, but by different methods. Seals develop a hate-love relationship with humans during the summer months. They like warm weather, but they hate that it's easier to be noticed when there's no ice. Reindeer pass through many Arctic regions, and their meat is tastier than marine mammals. Inuit migration routes they are positioned on it. When some deer of color encounter the same hunters every year, they must be wondering if they have taken the wrong path somewhere. Birds and their eggs add variety to the summer diet. Millions of migratory birds, including geese, ducks, and seabirds, nest in the Arctic. Their eggs contain 3 times more omega-3 fatty acids compared to farmed chicken eggs. Arctic birds mainly produce superfood eggs. Tundra during the short growing season, edible plants and fruits grow. Crow grape, blueberry, and cloud grape varieties are seen in the landscape. These tiny fruits contain a lot of nutrients. 1 cup of crow grapes contains more vitamin C than 2 oranges contain. A family can process a lot of food in the summer for the months when hunting becomes difficult. The constant activity of collecting food. It requires traveling to the places where resources are most abundant, which creates a seasonal pattern that shapes their lifestyle throughout the summer. Summer Inuit he brings movement to their communities. Families who spend the winter season in more permanent settlements pack up their belongings and go to seasonal camps on the shores or near inland lakes and rivers. These movements follow the patterns created over generations, with each family knowing exactly at what time of summer it will provide the best resources. There is enough knowledge that has been passed down from generation to generation to make GPS systems and Google Maps jealous. Deciding on the time to move is several. It depends on the factor. June melting of sea glaciers is the first signal, and usually occurs at the end of May or the beginning of June. Within 2 weeks from the appearance of open water, many families begin their journey to the summer areas. Traditional knowledge includes a detailed understanding of animal migration times, plant growth cycles, and weather conditions that influence these decisions. Mother Nature sends no text alerts. Either you read his signs correctly, or dinner for the next 3 months you won't eat. The distance covered varies greatly according to regions. In some areas, summer camps may be only 24 kilometers away from winter camps. A study conducted in traditional camps in northern Canada found that the average part of summer camps is located 75 kilometers from winter settlements. It's far enough away to access different sources, but also close enough to quickly return if necessary. It's like moving into a summer house. The only difference is that instead of packing suitcases, you put your whole life in a suitcase and put fishing nets hoping you haven't forgotten. Unlike winter settlements, where each family stays in separate dwellings, summer camps usually form small communities consisting of 5 to 15 related families by gathering tents together. Desh. This arrangement encourages cooperation in hunting, fishing, and food processing. The camp layout was reminiscent of a family gathering where everyone forgot to bring chairs, but remembered their fishing rods and strong ideas about the best way to clean the fish. Campsites are a reflection of careful planning. Many camps are built on slight elevations or ridges that catch refreshing breezes. Finding the perfect campsite is the same meticulous process that most people use when choosing a Netflix series. Historical evidence shows that there is a remarkable consistency in the choice of campsite. Aerial surveys have identified summer campsites that have been used continuously for more than 600 years. At some points, traces of seasonal settlements dating back 3,000 years were seen. When the Inuit say that we always camp here in the summer, they say that they mean it literally. Their family's holiday destination has a longer booking history than any 5-star hotel on the planet. Daily life in summer camps proceeds according to flexible routines determined by weather and opportunities, rather than strict schedules. If the fishing is good, everyone can be busy processing the fish they catch until late at night. If the hunting conditions are perfect, normal activities are decoupled while the hunters are chasing prey. The only date you can't postpone is with a passing herd of reindeer. It is your date that happens. They don't check your calendar before you migrate. Children enjoy an extraordinary freedom throughout camp life. Thanks to the constant daylight and mild temperature, the children are walking around all over the camp, learning survival skills through play and observation. All of them are valuable trainings for future life skills. It's like a summer camp, where counselors don't have curfews and complaints about cafeteria food. Campia life builds strong bonds between families, and cultural identity deck it reinforces. Shared jobs, meals, and stories strengthen the community bonds that keep people afloat during the harsh winter months. The experience gained over generations makes it possible to make the most of the short summer cornucopia by creating efficient ways to live on the go. The Inuit have developed tools that perfectly adapt to the Arctic summer. With the melting of the ice, water transportation became mandatory. The ski allowed hunters to quickly and quietly follow the seals. The boats were designed so well that the modern ski manufacturers basically said, yes, we can't make it better, and copied them. On larger trips, umiak came to the fore. These open boats could stretch up to 9 meters and could carry equipment with 15 people. The umiaks, made of walrus skin on a wooden skeleton, were surprisingly light. 6 people can turn one of them upside down and use it as an emergency shelter during a storm. The fishing tools also had magnificent designs. Fishermen, their harpoons were connected to the shaft with lines using detachable tips, allowing the hunters to catch the fish without losing the main harpoon. The fishing nets, made of seal skin in thin strips, were light but sturdy. Different equipment was used in land hunting. Summer bows made of drifting wood supported by sinew were of sufficient strength for color tilts and could shoot arrows at a distance of more than 200 meters. The bowstrings stretch naturally in the cool Arctic air and become stronger just when the bow is needed income. Hunters could hunt birds from 40 meters away with this simple tool. The vehicles used daily were giving importance to portability. Bone-handled knives were used in all kinds of jobs, from skinning animals to cutting tent materials. They had curved knives suitable for processing fish, which women used. Food storage containers made from animal stomachs can be folded when empty and can take liters of oil if necessary. Waterproof bags sewn from the intestines are for items during travel he was keeping it dry. These vehicles represented generations of innovation. Each item served multiple purposes and minimized weight. In a culture where mobility meant survival, as the air temperatures increase, it is necessary to make a complete change in the garderobe. The unique properties of reindeer skin were used in summer clothes. Instead of the fur facing inward in winter clothes, most of the dense fur has been removed in summer clothes. Thin skins are used. The remaining short hairs provided sufficient insulation while allowing body heat to escape. Specialist tailors have produced jackets with ventilation. There were small openings under the arms and on the sides that allowed air to pass through. These natural cooling systems worked based on a simple principle, such as moving air conveying heat. It's the same idea behind modern sportswear, but it was developed thousands of years ago. The shoes have also changed significantly. Long insulated winter boots have been replaced by lighter models made of furred seal leather. These summer boots only reached up to the navel and had small holes near the bottom that allowed the water to flow out while wading in shallow streams. It was supposed to be light enough to prevent overheating, but also protective enough against unpredictable weather conditions. A basic outfit may include a lightweight singlet, an easily removable common layer, and a thin outer jacket for protection from the wind. Waterproof synthetic in a region where materials were not available, raincoats posed a particular challenge. His solution was creative jackets made of seal or whale intestines. When prepared correctly, these natural materials create waterproof outer layers that are light enough to be carried anywhere. In the summer, headscarves had a dual role. Lightweight headgear that protects both from the sun and insects, but also allows excess heat to be expelled from the top. All summer clothes were supposed to be foldable and lightweight. Cottage 1, the soreness of the outfit, was about 1.5 kilos, that is, about 1 in 1 of the soreness of winter clothes. When traveling between camps, each part had to be flexible, enough to be tightly wrapped decently. Perhaps the most impressive thing was that summer clothes were designed in a quickly adaptable way. Sleeves can be folded, headpieces adjusted, and layers added or removed as conditions change during the day. One thing becomes immediately clear when you go out in the Arctic summer. People no longer eat, they're not at the top of the chain. Arctic shrews come to the region in such a large number that they change the landscape and determine everyone's daily life. Unlike the pointy flies in warmer regions and which move around throughout the year, Arctic pointy flies appear in large and synchronized waves. This situation leads to the formation of really scary-sized herds. It's insect season when the pointy flies start checking your ID and checking if you have enough blood to feed them all you understand. They are bigger and more aggressive than their southern cousins. Females need to suck blood in order to develop their eggs. The impact on everyday life cannot be overstated. Despite the invasion of bloodthirsty insects, life continues with extraordinary harmony and plenty of humor. Beyond these biting pests, a different energy is emerging in Inuit communities as we experience the peak summer season.